Hi everyone, Wayne here. I've decided that I'm going to hypertune my HEQ5 mount myself. In the past I've already lined up the gears myself, made sure that the worm gears is all gelled, seated properly, cleaned out all the standard factory grease with new proper lithium grease. But this time around I'm going to actually take the bearings out, replace bearings. I might not replace all of the bearings, but at least the bearings on the worm gears and so forth on the deck and RA shafts are going to be replaced. I'm not going to do a video for everything because it's going to take me a couple of nights to get this done, but I will be taking pictures and uploading them as the process unfolds. Show you step by step that it is not that difficult to do. As you can see, my dogs are here to keep me company in my garage, but I will show you around some of the things here quickly. So first you can see I have a stock standard HEQ5. I've marked off my home position where the telescope must be parked for when I'm at home, just to make things a bit simpler for me. My puck at the top is slightly unaligned because I made a mistake the last time that I put it back. But yes, stock standard HEQ5, nothing has been changed on it so far. Here you see my workstation. Plenty of space, got all my tools, everything ready. You will be needing these small terminal screwdrivers and a set of tools, something like this. For all the smaller things, I've got an assortment of Allen keys, pencil files, junk like that, and cups that I keep for degreasing the bearings in the things I do take apart. Boxes for screws. As you can see, I got it all places and space for all the screws I'm going to keep, don't lose anything. And lastly, I just want to show you how stiff the HEQ5 mount currently is. As you can see, there's a stiff point round about here. I'm hoping once the bearings have been replaced that this will be a lot smoother. Also something that is quite visible on this, I don't know if you could see it, but there is an inherent wobble on the RA shaft, not so much on the deck, but in the RA there's definitely. And I think that's just down to bearings not being the best type around. Right, a couple of things on the HEQ5 are simpler to do while it is still on the mount. From previous experiences, I just found these things to be easier. The plate on the side that covers your motors, your little stepper motors and gears are inside here. I take the cover off, I take the locking screws on the RA and deck. There's a little screw here that turns out and pulls that out. The locking on the RA as well. I take the puck off, plus these screws, and I take the counterweight extension bar, slides up through the back. And you can also take off take out your polar scope. Alright guys, so I haven't been taking a lot of videos while I've been stripping my HEQ5 mount apart, mostly because I've been having troubles with some of the issues and I wanted to concentrate on not damaging anything. Specifically, this ring that goes at the bottom of the shaft where your polar scope fits in here. These two, as you can see, I have somewhat gotten a bit of damage on this. To try and get them loose. What had actually happened, one of the grub screws that fits inside that hole wasn't turning loose. I turned it, or what I thought was turned, and it wasn't, and it was quite stiff and quite a problem to get out. To make things worse, on this knob, it goes onto this and it threads onto this. These two rings go together like that. But you can see some of the damage that's been caused to it because of one of these grub screws being very stripped and stuck inside there. But that's how the mount came out of the factory, not by me. But in any case, I have checked it, made sure that nothing is damaged to such an extent that I can't use the mount anymore. Just wanted to show you one of the couple of trickier things. So once you've taken this mounting plate off, this is where your worm gear goes in. To get this screw out, I used 2 screwdrivers because my extractor that I had for it that I thought would work wasn't working. The shaft simply pulls out of the inside and has 2 bearings, one here and you can see the amount of play this bearing has on it. Not very well designed. So in any case, I've taken the bearings apart. I've left this one on for now. I've marked all the bearings, which ones come from the deck, main deck. These are the 2 that fits inside this gear. So each one of them fits inside there and holds that in place. The bearings on the RA are exactly the same size. I've measured them, I've checked them. They're exactly the same size, but they also fit in here. Why they're different, I can't tell. This one's part number is 6006E-RZ, and this one is 6006Z. The tolerance on this one feels slightly worse than on this one, but all of these bearings, every single one of these has a bit of play on them, including the tiny little one. Let me see if I can get you a better view of that. Including those ones. Now this is your main bearing that holds your worm gear. So your stepper motor is directly driven on this with one of these little gears. So it's tightened up to the top here, and this is what drives the main gear on your RA or deck, like that. So the stepper motor is connected to this. So if this has play on it, then this has a little play on it as well, which means your whole mount has a few degrees of uselessness built into it inherently. The last bearing I want to show you, each main shaft has got a roller taper bearing like this. Roller taper bearings, in my experiences, aren't weight or accurate, measurement. It is a weight bearing and a guide one. I'm going to see when I replace this what the cost of this bearing is and if it's worth the replacement, but it comes with 2 of them on each end of the shaft. Other than that, everything went pretty straightforward, nothing too major. Lots of grease, lots of gunk inside. Out of one of these bearings I actually pulled a piece of grass, believe it or not grass that's from here. It was inside the roller bearing, and it also wasn't at the bottom end of the mount where you take off the polar scope. This was on the top end where it shouldn't be exposed to the elements. How the grass got in there, I don't know. I'm assuming it's probably from the factory in China. In any case, everything is done my side. I've got 1 or 2 small things I'm going to do on the mount. I'm hoping to get all the bearings tomorrow from my suppliers. So yeah, we will see how things go, and I'll check in a bit later. Right guys, I'm quickly going to show you how to put the gears back on the RA, on the shaft. I've already done the declination, as you can see, but I'm very quickly going to show you how I do how the process is unfolded. I've got the 2 gears here. First thing I do, I slide the gear just a little bit onto the wrong side to insert it all the way to the bottom. As you can see, it should look something like that. Sometimes it doesn't go in all the way, so what I do is just give it a slight tap. If you put it too hard, it does go all the way back through, but I found that just a little bit inserted like that is all that's needed. This one is rather loose. The screw holder for it. I found the easiest way is to use one of these screwdrivers. Once you've turned it in as much as you can, on the other end, do exactly the same. Bearing in mind that I did have a bit of a problem with the end of the shaft being quite scoured. That's it, simple as that. The gear just fits on top. The grub screw is tightened, but you can see nice and smooth turning. Anyway, simple as that.
It's actually getting chilly fast now.
Yeah.
Well, in here it's fine, but in the wind it's hectic.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
How was that for you?
What the fuck is that?
It's grease. By the way, I just want to point out to you, I'm busy recording this. I'm going to keep that in the video. Check out how smooth I've got this thing turning in here now already.
Maybe you have to edit that out.
That was my girlfriend. Deck is also done.
What is this? Is this proof that you geeks can have girlfriends?
Say hi.
YOLO!
So, just wanted to show you guys. I've now done the grease in this bearing as well. And it is a lot smoother than what it was. Even with the standard lithium grease, this was quite sticky. It was a lot better than what the factory stuff was, but this is a lot much better. Just to give you an idea, that's what standard industrial grade lithium grease looks like. Orange goop. Worked well enough for the gears, but not so well for the worked for these gears, worm gears, but not for the sleeves that the ring gears fit into. A little bit of a problem with them. Right, so just as a quick show you, the grease has helped a lot with the new bearings. There's a big difference. Obviously it's unbalanced on the one side now, but that's the RA. If I just a little bit undo the deck, see it's not a video of it what it was before, but it was, I had to push with my right hand to turn this thing around. It's a lot better. I'm afraid the easy part's over now. Now I've got to align this ring gear and worm gear with this ring gear and worm gear. Now previous experience has shown me that it is quite a process. It takes a while. It might take me up to a week to get it perfect. First I do it without load bearing, start it up, make sure that the gears are well meshed. And then with the motor on, each drive around and around and around, make sure there's no way that it sticks. When that's finished, then I start over with the load on it, and it takes quite a while, like I said, to get that sorted out. So I'll check in with you guys later.